There once was a town, not unlike the towns that we live in. Yet this town had become unlivable. It was run down, ruined, and set to be destroyed, full of disease and crime and death. Everyone in the town was instructed to leave, and each given a ticket to a wonderful aeroplane that would take them to a new place, a better place, where they could live freely. Now man, like everyone else, had been given a ticket, yet he kept it in his pocket, not particularly caring for it or looking after it. I'll use it when the time's right for me, he thought. As truth be told, he quite enjoyed the misery around him. But eventually, even man wanted to leave. Man was not prepared for how long the journey was, and how winding the path through town. And along the road he began to get hungry. He saw a garden with an apple tree, with one juicy apple. That looks nice, he thought. Not thinking about the owner of the garden, he snuck in, stole, and ate the apple. Realising he had nothing to wipe off his juicy hands, he took out the ticket and used it to clean them, noticing as he did so that the corner had been ripped off the ticket. Further along the path, man felt his feet begin to blister and sore in his shoes. Seeing another along the same path, he approached and demanded the other give him their shoes. After all, they didn't look like they needed them. The stranger, intimidated, agreed, but before handing over the shoes, asked if man would be willing to give a section of his ticket in exchange. Why not, thought man, they will let me on, and roped off another piece of his ticket. Along the journey, several more things happened to him. Man fought another over a piece of bread, leaving them battered and bruised on the floor. He laughed at those struggling. He stole a coat from another, thinking, I need it more, I'm more important. Man stepped over others struggling across the tough terrain and laughed at their misfortune. He did not stop to help those in crumpled down buildings or broken cars, and even pushed those who were too slow out the way. With each step, as man became more excited about the future ahead and how he may better himself, he thought how lucky he was to have earned his ticket and to leave this broken mess of a town. All the while, he did not notice the ticket in his pocket falling to pieces. At last, man reached the edge of town where the airport terminal lay. At the entrance to the terminal stood a guard. Tickets, please, he required of each person waiting their turn. Man reached the front and reached into his pocket, pulling out the broken, dirty and torn pieces of his ticket, and pushed to get past onto the plane. I'm sorry, this ticket is not valid. Why not? Demanded man. We can only accept tickets in perfect condition. No tears, no smears, nothing torn off or given away. But that's impossible, cried man. Yes, I gave some of my ticket away. I may not have kept it in the best condition, but I didn't even notice these tears happening. Surely I can do something, he reasoned, trying to flatten the crumples as best he could. I'm sorry, the cost for the plane is a perfect ticket. But surely I can buy another. How much is the ticket? The ticket is priceless, I'm afraid. Only one ticket per person. You cannot obtain another. Man sat on the ground and wept bitterly. He had not known. This wasn't fair. Although, he admitted to himself, he guessed he should have looked after the ticket a little more. But he had wanted other things to do. He'd had things on his mind. He needed to look after himself. But he couldn't stay in this town. He couldn't live here. Then man felt a gentle tap on his shoulder. Excuse me, I understand you're in need of a ticket. Man looked up to see a stranger, who looked strangely familiar, as strangers sometimes do. The stranger approached the guard, pointed to the man, and handed over a perfectly pristine ticket. It could not have been more perfectly kept. The guard whistled the man over. Seems you've been given a ticket. You may go on the plane and enjoy your new life. He could not believe it. Tears welled in his eyes, not of bitterness this time, but of joy. He turned and called to the stranger, But why me? How did you get an extra ticket? That's my ticket. You can take my place instead of me. I give you my place, said the stranger. That's the perfect ticket. You may get on the plane. Your place has been paid in full. But what will become of you? You will take my place, and I will take yours. Now go. Live your life to the full with your new ticket. With that, the stranger began walking back into town, into the ruin and chaos and carnage. And man got a first-class seat on the plane.